Maharaj Pariksit, though struck by the weapon of the son of Drona in his mother's womb, could not be burned. There's an incident that took place when he was still in the womb. And Swatama wanted to finish the dynasty. He wanted to put an end to religion. In case he is bent on protecting the religion. So he saved Maharaj Pariksit, which it is said here, the personality of God is Sri Krishna, who acts wonderfully. This statement is mentioned because it's what is going to happen to Pariksit. The two things, the beginning and the end. So Krishna acted wonderfully. He protected him, and at the end, it seems as if he didn't protect him. He allowed something to happen. It's all protection because he has perfectly arranged everything. So this verse is covering the beginning and the end of Pariksit Maharaj's life. Furthermore, Maharaj Pariksit was always consciously surrendered to the personality of Godhead, and therefore he was neither afraid nor overwhelmed by the fear. See, it's confirmed. The fear due to a snake bird, which was to bite him because of the fury of a Brahmana boy. A self-surrendered devotee of the Lord is called Narayana Parayana. Such a person is never afraid of any place or person, nor even of death. For him, nothing is as important as the Supreme Lord, and thus he gives equal importance to heaven and hell. But in all conditions and in all circumstances, the remembrance of Lord Narayan is essential. That's the most important thing. If the Lord protects us and if we don't remember Him, it doesn't make sense. If He is taking our life and you remember Him, it makes sense. Better to remember Him. That is the situation of Pariksit Maharaj. Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyas, Sukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. By the grace of the spiritual master like Sukadeva Goswami, unto whom the king gave himself up to as a most humble disciple, one is able to understand the actual position of the Lord, his eternal abode, and his transcendental paraphernalia in that Dham, or abode, knowing the transcendental position of the Lord and the transcendental method by which one can approach that transcendental Dham, the kingdom. The king was confident about his ultimate destination, and by knowing this, he could leave aside everything material, even his own body, without any difficulty of attachment. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Pariksit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality as Sukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to know the factual position of the unconquerable Lord. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literatures, but it is very easy to know him by the mercy of a liberated devotee like Sukadeva Goswami. A glorious death dedication to the Lord's topics, constant remembrance of Krishna. This is text number 4. This was so because those who have dedicated their lives to the transcendental topics of the personality of Godhead, or whom the Vedic hymns sing, and who are constantly engaged in remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, do not run the risk of having misconception even at the last moment of their lives. The higher perfection of life is attained by remembering the transcendental nature of the Lord at the last moment of one's life. This perfection of life is made possible by one who has learned the actual transcendental nature of the Lord from the Vedic hymns sung by a liberated soul like Sukadeva Goswami, or someone in that line of disciplic succession. When the same is heard from an actual self-realized soul and is properly understood by service and submission, everything becomes transparently clear. For a common mind, it is very difficult to remember things as they are at the time of death, but by the grace of the Lord and his bona fide devotees, the spiritual masters, one can get this opportunity without difficulty. And it was done in the case of Maharaja Pariksit. He perfectly remembered the Supreme Personality of Godhead by service and submission. Service and submission. Papa mentioned this thing again and again in chapter 34, Purport Bhagavad Gita. Service and submission. Service and submission. 434, Purport. By service and submission. Yes. Text 5 and 6. Kali could not flourish in Maharaja Parikshit's rule. Kali does not function. Kali functions only when Pariksit Maharaj disappeared. As long as the great powerful son of Abhimanyu remains the emperor of the world, there is no chance that the personality of Kali will flourish. The very day and moment the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, left this earth, the personality of Kali, who promote all kinds of irreligious activities, came into this world. The personality of Godhead and his holy name, qualities, etc. are all identical. The personality of Kali was not able to enter the jurisdiction of the earth due to the presence of the personality of Godhead. And similarly, if there is an arrangement for the constant chanting of the holy names, qualities, etc. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no chance at all for the personality of Kali to enter. That is the technique of driving away the personality of Kali from the world, not by other means. Not by other means. The only way to keep Kali away is chanting of the holy name, constantly hearing about the transcendental qualities of Krishna sung by his pure representatives. And we submissively hear them and render service. Everything becomes manifest. So Prabhupada said this is the technique for doing that. Without this, it's not possible. Our leaders can go on and on and on and make so many plans and so many rules. Nothing will happen. The anxiety will increase. Yes, that is what is happening. Mogasa Karamani. We're baffled by our fruitive activities, baffled by our intelligence. Because our activities are motivated by personal self-interest, not Krishna consciousness. With a pure devotee like Pariksit Maharaj, their existence is to benefit the world. So they make the sacrifice by using their life to benefit the world. He's taking a risk. What he's doing here is risky because he's fighting Kali. Kali has to exist because there are 4 ages. And Pariksit Maharaj is stopping him from existing. That is a big fight. It's a big fight. Yes. Anyway, it's a good fight. Maharaj Pariksit was a realist. He is? Pariksit Maharaj is? Yes. Realist means what? Yeah, practical. He's a practical person. He's down to earth. They say down to earth. He's a practical person. Like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effect immediately. Whereas inauspicious act must be actually performed to render effects. So, he was never envious of the personality of Kali. He was never envious of the personality of Kali. So, this statement, when we hear things like this, we should be very careful to properly understand what it means. What we think in the mind, it doesn't happen physically to us. In Satya, immediately it will happen. So, does it mean nothing happens? Huh? Nothing happens? It will eventually happen. It will eventually happen. If we constantly think of something, please understand that is our future. Anything we constantly meditate upon is our future. It is a future, means not happening now, but we should not think that it's not going to happen. It will happen eventually because we are creating our future. So it will not happen immediately, but it will happen afterward. Therefore, we should be careful with what we think constantly. It will manifest in due course of time. The age of Kali is called the fallen age. In this fallen age, because the living beings are in an awkward position, the Supreme Lord has given some special facilities to them. So, by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the act is actually performed. It is building up, it will become manifest eventually. Yes. So we shouldn't think that, nothing happened. What I'm thinking, nothing happened. Nobody see it. It is seen by higher personalities, and Yamaras have recorded it. It's going to bring us to us one day, and we'll be surprised. Why am I having this? Because you have meditated on it for some time. When Swayambhu Manu came to Kadamamuni, what did he tell him? One of the things he told him in connection with this, Swayambhu Manu, when he came to Kadamamuni, what did he tell him? The particular girl you have been meditating upon, the shapes they had, the position of the eyes, the nose, and the hips, and the body, is exactly the girl I have brought for you. Devahuti. What you have been meditating upon since have become manifest before you. Take your wife. This is what you have created. Now I'm bringing it for you. You take it. So what we are constantly thinking, that is our future. Please take it. Maharaj Pariksit considered that less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self-controlled will have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons. Those who are not devotees of the Lord are careless and unintelligent. Unless one is thoroughly intelligent, one cannot be a devotee of the Lord. Those who are not devotees of the Lord fall prey to the actions of Kali. It will not be possible to bring about a saner condition in society unless we are prepared to accept the mode of action adopted by Maharaj Pariksit. That is, propagation of the devotional service to the Lord to common man. O sages, as you did ask me, now I have described almost everything regarding the narrations about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaj Pariksit. Those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection in life must submissively hear all these topics that are connected with the transcendental activities and qualities of the personality of Godhead, who act wonderfully. We should hear every day about Krishna. Every day we should hear about Krishna. And so Prabhupada said, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to give us chance to hear. This movement is for hearing. And who hears will practice it. Who does not hear will not practice. That is what I mean by hearing. Hearing means I will practice. Not hearing means you will not practice. Everything will remain in a book. Let us hear and practice it, then everything will become a reality. Krishna came here and performed so many unlimited activities. Not only that, he incarnated Vyasadeva to put everything down in the form of a book. Not only that, he sent his pure devotee to speak these things for us to hear every day. Let us make effort to hear. This hearing is not a casual activity, not a whimsical activity. It's a very big science. To hear, it's a big science. You must have some qualifications to hear. We're mentioning the qualities for hearing at that time. How many hearers are there? 4. That was inauspicious one we mentioned. He didn't ask me for the auspicious one. We mentioned the inauspicious one. You don't want the auspicious ones? There are also 4. Auspicious hearers, there are also 4. One is Chataka bird. Chataka bird. What is Chataka bird? It's always expecting. Yes, always expecting. Perfect example of a Chataka bird hearing is Hanuman. Hanuman doesn't chant Sarita Bijaja. He hears the class, he will wait for the next class. He doesn't go away, he will sit there waiting for the next class. That is Chataka bird. Next one, a parrot. A parrot hearer. Is very attentive, very, very attentive in hearing. And he can repeat it, nicely. Who is that? Sukadev Goswami. He's perfect hearer and he's perfect narrator. The next one is fish. The fish hearer. Fish hearer. When the fish we're talking is at the bottom of the ocean, when there is milk and water together. When one is drinking the milk, it doesn't blink eyes. When he's hearing, it doesn't blink the eyes. It's fixed. Who is that? Pariksit Maharaja. Pariksit Maharaja. He didn't sleep for 7 days. He didn't eat for 7 days. He didn't pass water for 7 days. He was fixed at hearing. He never removed his eyes from his spiritual master when he's speaking. And the other one is swan hearer. A swan can hear from different speakers, but he can detect the one which is pure and which is not pure. That's a swan. He knows the difference between Sivapapa speaking and the Mayavadi speaking. He can detect. Who is example? It's not written. We're just creating it from hearing. Who is that? Perfect. He can distinguish. Yeah, it's Prabhupada from Mayavadis. Example? Okay, Prabhupada himself. So he hears. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati noticing. He hears. He didn't want to go and hear Prabhupada because he was disgusted with so many people. But when he went and heard, this one is different. This is different from the ones I've been hearing before. So he followed. These are 4 auspicious hearers. So we should be among the 4 auspicious hearers, that we should hear and practice what we hear. The other qualification we need to hear is that we must have confidence in the person speaker, in the speaker. We must have confidence in the speaker. If you don't have confidence in the speaker, you will not hear properly. You should have faith. You should have faith in the speaker or in Krishna. And my Guru Dev or Krishna is going to send the message to me through the person who is speaking. You should have that confidence, that faith in the person who is speaking. And we need also to be humble. Humility. Humility means what? Even if you are Gino to me, in any way, for age, for in a movement or whatever, but I'm humble to hear because Krishna consciousness does not depend on age, not duration of it, not duration. It is completely spiritual, and Krishna can deliver a message to anyone, through anyone who is next quality, eagerness to hear. Prabhupada said it many times in the first canto here. You must be eager to hear. How many qualities? 4. Nothing. It's 4. Eagerness, humility, faith, and
faith, humble, humility, and eagerness.
And eagerness, thank you. Yeah, humility, yes. The 4 qualities. Humility, faith, eagerness, humble, humility. Yes. You have faith. The speaker should be humble, should be eager, and You're always forgetting that. Nobody was there. No, I didn't mention that. But I remember I mentioned 4 things. I mentioned 4 things. I thought you were writing it down.
Confidence, humble,
okay. Confidence, yes. Confident that this person is going to say something for a benefit. Is to have confidence. That's 4. So be confident. Then the message will flow. The good sages said, "Oh, grave Sutta Goswami, may you live many years and have eternal fame, for you are speaking very nicely about the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us." That is speaking. This is speaking. This is speaking. And what we present should be nectar. Yes, it should be nectar. And to give the nectar, it does not depend on our academic qualification. It depends on the qualities we already mentioned. We can speak nicely. We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, a sacrificial fire, without certainty of its result due to the many imperfections in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Govinda, which you are distributing. The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages and Ameshana was certainly full of smoke and doubt because of many flaws. What is the smoke and doubt? What is smoke and doubt? What is smoke and doubt? Doubt, you understand. Okay, what is smoke?
covering.
Covering. What is it covering? Swaha, 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 but it is smoke that is coming out, not the fire. But just a simple word from Sutta Goswami, the smoke is being destroyed. What is that? Ignorance, confusion, bewildered. One word. This is the potency of a speaker. He must have the ability to destroy ignorance in the heart of the audience. Yes. The first flaw is that there is an acute scarcity of expert brahmanas able to carry out the such performances successfully in this age of Kali. No qualified brahmana who can chant the perfect mantra to dissipate the darkness. They were able to see the difference. Therefore, they congratulated Sutta Goswami. They actually blessed him, and they're very, very static in their presentations. Oh, good sages! Oh, good sages! Oh, grave Sutta Goswami! They are happy. They are happy with his presence. (1314) is what? The power of association in hearing Harikatha. Text 13 and 14. Let's look at it. The value of a moment association with the devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planet or liberation from matter. and what to speak of worldly benedictions in a form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death. We cannot compare the moment of association. You cannot compare the association of a sage to anything in this material world. There is no comparison. Moment. A moment. Association with the sadhu is so powerful, so great, that we advise, just sit with the even if you're not talking to you, just sit down when they're talking among themselves. You will get everything. This association, you get everything. The sages were talking to Narada Muni. The sages, were they talking to Narada? They were talking among themselves. Another was simply sitting there hearing and doing some service. What happened to him? The nature of the Bhaktivedanta became attractive to me. That is the power of association. He became a pure devotee in 4 months. That's association. So Prabhupada transformed all the devotees who knows nothing about spirituality, nothing. Their religion was alcohol. They became transformed. That's association. Powerful association. They cannot be compared to anything in this material world. And just the opposite is Bhagavad Sanghi, or one who is always in association with the Lord's name, form, qualities, etc. So association is always desirable. It is worshipable. It is praiseworthy, and one may accept it as the highest goal of life. The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings, and his transcendental attribute cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar, rasa, ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about him? No. The more we hear, the more we want to hear. So the sages told Sudha Goswami, excuse me, we are not tired of hearing. Don't worry about the 1,000 years. We are ready to increase it. Just continue to speak. We are not tired. Are we tired? No, we are tired. Don't worry. We are tired. 3 hours is long. We are tired. The sages are not tired. For many reasons. First reason, Sutta Goswami is different. We are different. And the environment is different. And the hearer is also different. So a lot of differences are there. But those who are hearing about Krishna, why do you think, what do you think is happening? That the Goswamis, they would forget to eat physically. What do you think is happening? What the Goswamis forget to eat?
They're totally on soul platform, transcendental platform. They are not on bodily platform, so they don't bother about bodily necessity.
Okay, very good. What else? Thank you. Why are you not tired?
Higher taste. Higher taste.
The higher taste. They are drinking. Yeah, they are drinking. Yes. So the external food is a moderation. One day, Buddha's mother was calling him to come and eat. Buddha said, what is he saying? What's my Buddha saying? He said, as you come and eat what? Am I not eating? Yes, I'm eating, and he's telling me to come and eat. What is he saying? See, he didn't understand what the mother was saying. Come and eat what? I'm already eating. So those who are eating, those who are tasting the rasa, they are never tired. But those who are not tasting the nectar, we are tasting only the dry philosophy, we get tired. But everything has a beginning. Let us start from the beginning. And anxiously prepare for that. Then you will get it there. It's not a discouragement. You should not be discouraged. You should know that everything has stages. We are on beginning stages. So we will get it there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Qualities of a speaker, a hearer, and a subject matter. These are very important. The quality of the speaker, the hearer, and the subject itself is very important. Very, very important. O Sutra Goswami, you are a learned and pure devotee of the Lord because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages. We are anxious to receive such messages. The speaker on the transcendental activities to the Lord should have only one object of worship and service, which is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the audience for such topics should be anxious to hear about him. When such a combination is possible, namely a qualified speaker and a qualified audience, it is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. In such discourses, unlimited transcendental pleasure is relished both by the audience and the speaker, and therefore they can continue the topics for many thousands of years. Now, Bhagavad Saptahas are held for 7 days only. And after finishing the show, both the audience and the speaker become engaged in material activities as usual. That is not Harikatha. They can do so because the speaker is not Bhagavad Pradhan and the audience is not Shushu Shatam, as explained above. Yes, no satisfaction in hearing. Should continue talking about Pariksit Maharaj. We should continue. We should not be tired. If we are drinking, we should not be tired. O Sutra Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaja Pariksit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of Garuda, the king of birds. Those topics were vibrated by the son of Vyas, Srila Sukadeva Goswami. What is this? What is happening? What is happening in this verse 16? What is happening? Please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaja Pariksit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord. What are they saying? What are they saying?
In the beginning, the Goswami had mentioned it in a very brief. They wanted an elaborate explanation.
Okay, very good. Very good. What else? The personalism. Okay. Okay. Yes. Something else? What is happening? and describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaja Pariksit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attaining the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of Garuda, the king of birds. Those topics were vibrated by the son of Vyasadeva.
Discussion on Sukadeva Swami Pariksit Maharaj.
The sages want to attain the same destination Pariksit Maharaj did. So, the process he followed to attain the shelter of Lord Krishna, we please describe for us. We want to attain the same. Show us the way. They want to hear. They want it. Yes. Yes. Therefore, knowledge imparted by Sukadeva Goswami unto Maharaja Pariksit helped him attain the service of the Lord. And this stage of perfection is called a pavarga, or the perfect stage of liberation. Simple knowledge of liberation is material knowledge. Actual freedom from material bondage is called liberation, but attainment to the transcendental service of the Lord is called the perfect stage of liberation. Such a stage is attained by knowledge and renunciation, as we have already explained. And perfect knowledge, as delivered by Sukadeva Goswami, results in attainment of the transcendental service of the Lord. We want to attain the service of the Lord. Please, let us hear also so we can get the same thing. Thus, please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken by Maharaj Pariksit, and they are very dear to the pure devotees, being full of Bhakti Yoga. Text 18 and 19, the power of holy name and service to the devotees. 18 and 19. Sri Sutra Goswami said, O God, although we are born in a mixed caste, we are still promoted in birthright simply by serving and following the great who are advanced in knowledge. Even by conversing with such great souls, we can, without delay, cleanse oneself of all disqualifications resulting from lower birth. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, what happened? We become cleansed of all disqualifications. All disqualifications. All. Sutra Goswami learned the science of Krishna from great rishis and authority like Sukadeva and Vyasadeva, and he was so qualified that even the sages of Namisaranya eagerly wanted to hear from him the science of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sutra Goswami and the person whom he is speaking to, Sonaka Rishi, Bharadwaj, they are Kulapanis. They are, which is not a position of, and they are Brahmanas. And Sutra Goswami is not a Brahmana. Now the Brahmanas are going to hear from a non-Brahmana. They're very eager to hear from a non-Brahmana because of his qualifications. Right? His qualification made him he's a great personality because he has heard from Sukadeva Goswami, Vyasadeva. Look at the personalities, Narada Muni. He heard from all this, and he studied all this from the six philosophers. He has studied everything all completely. And he has character. He had become very, very humble. So the word they use for him is Somya. He's very gentle and submissive. So you want to hear from him. This is what Holy Name can do, devotional service can do. So he had a double association of great souls by hearing and preaching. Transcendental science, or the science of Krishna, has to be learned from the authorities. And when one preaches the science, he becomes still more qualified. So Suta Goswami had both the advantages, and those undoubtedly he was completely freed from all disqualifications of all death and mental agonies. This verse definitely proves that Srila Sukadeva Goswami did not refuse to teach Suta Goswami about the transcendental science, nor did the sages on Namisarana refuse to listen from him because of his inferior birth. No. This means that thousands of years ago, there was no bar to learning or preaching the transcendental science because of inferior birth. That was not there. That was not there. Anyone can become qualified. And when the person is qualified by training, you should be careful, otherwise you make offense. I want to speak of those who are under the direction of the great devotees, chanting the holy name of the unlimited, who has unlimited potency, the personality of Godhead, unlimited in potency and transcendental by attribute, is called the Ananta, unlimited. Since his name and he himself are identical, the holy name of the Lord can protect the devotee from all the effect of sins. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord can undoubtedly deliver one from the disadvantages of a low caste birth. The Lord's unlimited power is extended on and on by the unlimited expansion of the devotees and incarnations. And thus, every devotee of the Lord and incarnations also can be equally surcharged with the potency of the Lord. Seeing the devotee is surcharged with the potency of the Lord, even fractionally, the disqualification due to lower birth cannot stand in the way. 20 to 22. Unparalleled position of Krishna. Attachment to him takes us to detachment from material body. It is now ascertained that he, the personality of Godhead, is unlimited and there is none equal to him. Consequently, no one can speak of him adequately. Great demigods cannot obtain the favor of the goddess of fortune, even by prayers. But this very goddess renders service unto the Lord, although he is unwilling to have such service. These are some of the instances of his complete independence and perfection. That he has nothing to do does not mean that he is impersonal. He is transcendentally so full of inconceivable potencies that simply by his willing, everything is done without physical or personal endeavor. He is called, therefore, Yogeshwara, or the Lord of all mystic powers. 21. Who can be worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord but the personality of God is Sri Krishna? Brahmaji collected the water emanating from the nails of his feet in order to award it to Lord Shiva as a worshipable welcome. This very water, the Ganges, is purifying the whole universe, including Lord Shiva. What are the qualities of Krishna that makes him to be the Supreme God? What are the qualities? He's Sachit Ananda. We are also Sachit Ananda. We are also Sachit Ananda. When we get our original state, we have the same thing, Sachit Ananda.
Krishna is Vibhu, we are
Huh?
Krishna is Vibhu.
Krishna is Vibhu and we are Anu. Very good. Very good. Yes. What else? Krishna is Atmaram. Is Satyusanya Atmaram. Narada Muni is Atmaram. They are also Atmaram. Most compassionate. Devotees are more compassionate than Krishna. Yes. Krishna said, don't give the knowledge of faithless people. The devotees are doing it. What is that qualities that makes him Krishna? I want to know. 6 opulences. By Kunda verses, they have those opulences also. All the opulences of Krishna in Vaikuntha, everybody have. Everybody. Well, Vaikuntha, all they have. Everything. The same, all 6.
He is Yogeshwar.
He is Yogeshwara. Okay. Yes. Very good. Okay.
The devotee can command the Lord. He comes under the...
Oh, Krishna has very absolute quality that the devotee can control it. Very good. Very good. Yes. Very good. Thank you.
Krishna is the cause of all causes.
Krishna is the cause of all causes. Yeah, he's the cause of all causes. One day Krishna told Indra. Indra was lamenting. Indra was lamenting seriously. Stay after Jagya, Krishna will leave. Indra will lament. Please stay with me now. What is this? You stay. Krishna said, if I'm not there, Lord Shiva can do the same duty. You can take Lord Shiva, you can take Brahma, we are the same. Krishna told Indra like that. We are the same, so don't worry if I'm not there. Don't worry yourself. It's from Brihad Bhagavatam, Sanatana Swami is talking. Yeah, you take Brahma, take Shiva, we are the same. What are the qualities? Yes. Oh, Lord Krishna, yes. Yes. Lord Krishna's beauty, no one else has it. Thank you. No one else has Krishna's beauty. His beauty manifests according to the pastime he's going to play. At any time, every moment. He is always different in manifesting qualities. Beauty increases every moment. Yes. Lord Vishnu does not dance. Have you seen Vishnu dancing? He's a king, so he cannot dance. He sits on a throne. Krishna is not a king. Krishna is a cowhead boy. He's a boy. Therefore, he always dances. And Vishnu is in management. A lot of headache is there. Krishna is not in management, so he always, yes, he always dances and enjoys himself. Not in management. Full of politics and that. Yes. So Krishna has special qualities which no one, not including even his own brother, Balaram. Even his own brother, he was not different from him. There's little differences still there. That is Krishna. So it is said here, who can be worthy of the name of the Supreme Lord but the personality of God is Sri Krishna? Yes. Brahma doesn't have that. Lord Shiva doesn't have that. Even though they are, even Lakshmi Devi, they don't have that. Only Krishna has this quality. Therefore, it is correct for Christians to say, surrender unto me, only me. Because that's his position. They are not equal. They're not competitor. Not even demigod can compete. Nobody competes with Krishna. That is his position eternally. Self-controlled persons who are attached to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna can all of a sudden give up the world of material attachment, including the gross body and subtle mind, and go away to attain the highest perfection of the renounced order of life, by which non-violence and renunciation are consequential. They are consequential. O rishis, who are as powerfully pure as the sun, as I try to describe to you the transcendental persons of Vishnu as far as my knowledge is concerned, as the birds fly in the sky as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotees describe the Lord as far as their realization allows. 24 to 31. Pariksit, being fatigued because of thirst and feeling neglected by Samik Rishi, Pariksit Maharaj placed a dead snake on the seas. 24 and 25. Once upon a time, Maharaja Pariksit, while engaged in hunting in the forest with bow and arrows, became extremely fatigued, hungry and thirsty while following the stags. While searching for a reservoir of water, he entered the hermitage of the well-known Samik Rishi and saw the sailors sitting silently in closed eyes. Is the philosophy and the understanding that we should get from here. What is that? The Supreme Lord is so kind to his pure devotees that in proper time he calls such devotees up to him and thus create an auspicious circumstance for the devotee. Maharaj Pariksit was a pure devotee of the Lord, and there was no reason for him to become extremely fatigued. Because all his activities are completely spiritual. They are never material. Therefore, there is no fatigue for a pure devotee. So, Pariksit Maharaj getting fatigued is our own language. It is Krishna's arrangement to call him back. Not that he is fatigued, not that he is thirsty, not that he is in ignorance. He does not know that the sage is in meditation. He is a pure devotee. He knows everything. So what is happening is the arrangement of Lord Krishna. It is time for Krishna to call his devotee back. So he is making this arrangement. But by the desire of the Lord, even such a devotee can become apparently. What is apparent? What is apparent? Seems to be, seemingly. It is not it, but it seems to be like that. It is apparent. Fatigued and thirsty just to create a situation favorable for his renunciation of worldly activities. This is the true point. This is the main point. Whatever is happening, this is the main point. Krishna have arranged for him by making all this arrangement. It's not a mistake. Krishna protected him before, he can protect him now. But it is time for him to go, and Krishna is making the arrangement. So what is happening is a drama. It's a perfect drama Krishna had planned. The Muni's sense organs, breath, mind, and intelligence were all restrained from material activities, and he was situated in a trance apart from the three: wakefulness, dream, and unconsciousness, having achieved a transcendental position qualitatively equal with the Supreme Lord. It appears that the Muni in whose cemetery the king entered was in yogic trance. The transcendental position is attained by three processes, namely the process of Dhyan, or theoretical knowledge of transcendence, the process of yoga, or factual realization of trance, by manipulation of the physiological and psychological functions of the body, and the most approved process of Bhakti yoga. The sage in meditation was covered by the skin of a stag, and long compressed hair was scattered all over him. The king, whose palate was dry from thirst, asked him for water. The same thing happened to Gatsemuni and Maharaja Dadumna Maharaj, who became Gajendra. The same thing. Gatsemuni knows past, present, and future. He knows everything. For him to curse him was providential. The same thing happened with Pariksit Maharaj here. It's providential. He cannot be thirsty of water. The king, not received by any formal welcome by means of being offered a seat, place, water, and sweet addresses, considered himself neglected, and so thinking, he became angry. This is not anger. If you remember, yesterday, Srila Prabhupada said, Pariksit Maharaj, when he was traveling and conquering all directions, he was constantly hearing the glories of his forefathers and Krishna and he himself. He was eager to hear them because they are for Krishna, not for himself. So he cannot be now angry. He cannot be now angry after being a self-realized soul that is taking pleasure in hearing the activities of his grandfather. Prabhupada said, to become angry in such a grave situation was not unnatural for a king, but because the king himself was not less than a great sage, a great saint, his becoming angry and taking action were astonishing. So it must be accepted that it was so ordained by the supreme will of the Lord. That's the conclusion. O Brahmanas, the king's anger and envy directed towards the Brahmana sage were unprecedented, being that circumstances had made him hungry and thirsty. While living, the king, being so insulted, picked up a lifeless snake with his bow and angrily placed it on the shoulder of the sage. Then he returned to his palace. Upon returning, he began to contemplate and argue within himself whether the sage had actually been in meditation with senses concentrated and eyes closed, or whether he had just been feigning trance just to avoid receiving a low-class Satriya. This is how a devotee thinks. A devotee always consider himself or herself to have participated in any conflict. A devotee never claim right. So here, Pariksit Maharaj is not claiming right, even though what he did, according to our acharyas, is not wrong. He's a king and he's a pure devotee. But he's thinking with himself like this: 32 to 50, inexperienced Ringi cursed Pariksit Maharaj, and Samik Rishi regrets and pray for him. The sage had a son who was very powerful, being a Brahmana's son. While he was playing with inexperienced boys, he heard of his father's distress, which was occasioned by the king. Then and there, the boy spoke as follows. The Brahmana's son Sringi said, just look at the sins of the rulers who, like crows and watchdogs at the door, perpetrate sins against their masters, contrary to the principles of governing servant. This is an insult. Pariksit is not a watchdog. Of course, because he's a Kshatriya, so he's saying he's a watchdog. Because they have to hear from the Brahmanas to rule. So he's calling him this name, which is an insult. The descendants of the kingly orders are definitely designated as watchdogs, and they must keep themselves at the door. On what grounds can dogs enter the house and claim to dine with the master on the same plate? After the departure of Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead and supreme ruler of everyone, these upstarts, my person not upstarts, have flourished. These upstarts have flourished. Our protector being gone. Therefore, I myself shall take up this matter and punish them. Just witness my power. 36-37. Sringi cursed Maharaja Pariksit. The son of the Rishi, his eyes red hot with anger, touched the water of the river Kausik while speaking to his playmate and discharged the falling thunderbolt of words. The Brahmana's son cursed the king thus. On the 70th day from today, a snake body will bite the most wretched one of that dynasty, Maharaja Pariksit, because of his having broken the laws of etiquette by insulting my father. To the age of 40, Sringi approaches his father. Thereafter, when the boy returned to the hermitage, he saw a snake on his father's shoulder, and out of his grief, he cried very loudly, "O Brahmanas, the Rishi who was born in the family of Angira Muni, hearing his son crying, gradually opened his eyes and saw the dead snake around his neck. He threw the dead snake aside and asked his son why he was crying, whether anyone had done him harm. On hearing this, the son explained to him what had happened. The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed, although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best amongst human beings. The Rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary, began to repent, saying, "Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense. Oh my boy, your intelligence is immature, and therefore you have no knowledge that the king, who is the best amongst human beings, is as good as the personality of Godhead. He is never to be placed on an equal footing with common men. The citizens of the state live in prosperity, being protected by his unsurpassable prowess." He's calling Pariksit Maharaj a watchdog, but it is Maharaja Pariksit who is protecting the scene to do the meditation. That is their duty. For the sages to do the meditation, the Kshatriyas have the responsibility of killing all the dangerous animals who will disturb the sages. He forgot that because of his childish nature. Of course, this is providential. So both the Sringi and Pariksit Maharaja, they say they are not at fault. It is just arrangement of personality of Godhead. My dear boy, the Lord who carries the wheel of a chariot is represented by the monarchical regime. And when this regime is abolished, the whole world becomes filled with thieves, who then at once vanquish the unprotected subject like scattered lambs. Due to the termination of the monarchical regimes and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And for all these sins, we shall be responsible. At that time, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagement of the caste and the orders of society and the Vedic injunctions. Thus, they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be an unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. 46 to 50. Samik Rishi prays for his son, the qualities of a devotee. He is exhibiting the quality of a devotee. The Emperor Pariksit is a pious king. He is highly celebrated and is a first-class devotee of the personality of Godhead. He is a saint amongst royalty, and he has performed many horse sacrifices. When such a king is tired and fatigued, being stricken with hunger and thirst, he does not at all deserve to be cursed. Then the Rishi prayed to the all-pervading personality of Godhead to pardon his immature boy, who had no intelligence and who committed the great sin in cursing a person who was completely free from all sins, who was subordinate and who deserved to be protected. The devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. The sage thus regretted the sin committed by his own son. He did not take the insult paid by the king very seriously. Generally, the transcendentalists, even though engaged by others in the dualities of the material world, are not distressed, nor do they take pleasure in worldly things, for they are transcendentally engaged. So this is the beginning of Kali Yuga. Cursing, a Brahmana cursing, that is the day a Kali Yuga appeared. By cursing, the Brahmana fell down from their position as Brahmanas. And when the Brahmanas fell, their mantra was not powerful again and they are not effective as before. The Kshatriyas, they saw that the Brahmanas have failed. They revolted. Since they are no more qualified Brahmanas, there's no need for us to take their shelter. They became disobedient to the Brahmanas. The Vaishyas show also the action of the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas. Why should we depend on the Kshatriyas? They are no more powerful. They cannot protect us. Let us be our own, independent. Also they revolted. The same thing with the Shudra. And what we have today is, everybody is the God. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, all glorious assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.